Yeah, he's good at it.
We made it to Ludington.
I'm walking all these thoughts are and catch me if you can. And I'm wondering if I should chase behind or stop wondering and try to take a stand. Oh, and they keep asking where the hell I'm going, who I'll be for the rest of my life. Well, I don't know where time is gonna take me. No, I'm just trying to take my time. I'm dreaming, and my coffee is steaming, getting colder with time, and I'm wondering if maybe all this dreaming is better left to the night. Oh, but lately I've been having trouble sleeping. Well, I just toss and turn all night.
The first stop of our blessed Midwest journey was in Ludington, Michigan. Traveling across Michigan, we arrived in Ludington in time for dinner. The day before we left, Michelle retired from the library where she had worked for 20 years.
Being employed for the library has been one of the joys in my life. Loving the people you work with really factors into that joy. Reading stories to families, singing songs, and doing crafts were some of my favorite parts of the job. It's amazing how we can feel both happy and sad at the same time. I am so thankful for all of these friends and the many others that aren't in this scene. More coworkers stopped in throughout my last day to celebrate my many years of working at the library. They also wished us well in our soon-to-be new adventure.
Travel far, now retreating. I've longed for this place for so long. Now I lay me down, I belong. And I breathe in the air fresh from the blessed Midwest. I am held by the forest where I go for rest, and washed by the waters of Lake Michigan. And wherever I go, I will return again to my
We've made it to Ludington, Michigan, and there's the Badger Ferry, which is our continuation of Highway 10 that we're going to take to Wisconsin.
Yeah, yep.
And Michelle's got us directions to the Ludington Brewery, where we're going to have some Badger Blue beer and dinner, because it's late and we're hungry. What do we got to do?
We gotta go that way.
Got to go that way.
Let's go that way. Let's see if the dot lines up with where we're walking. Yep, we got it now.
Okay. You say we got it now?
We got it now.
All right. Michelle and I made it to the Ludington Bay Brewing Company. Yeah, we're here.
We're here.
And we have their celebratory ale for the 70th anniversary of the Badger Ferry. Right here, their Badger Blue. Cheers to you.
Anyone have any requests?
Oh.
That's excellent.
But they say it's just a hint of blueberry, and it's just barely, it's like an essence of blueberry. Super. We've ordered our food, waiting for that to come, and the sun is setting. It's a beautiful, perfect evening in Ludington, Michigan.
Feeling your heart beating, and I'm wondering what your dreams. Wondering if it's me you're seeing. They free me from this and that railroad. Yours
This is measuring at 51 feet. I'm just gonna go measure that real quick. This will just go on your dashboard.
Okay.
Travel far, now retreating. I've longed for this place.
Did you measure your truck too?
Yeah.
So we just need from the back of the truck to the back of the pickup camper. So we'll go ahead and change that to 28 feet.
Oh.
And then you can go in the office and then they'll refund you that extra
I thought it was
feet.
the whole thing.
It's better than doing less.
I saw there was another Airstream that came through.
Yeah. And I think it's the same feet. So I was like, there's no way that's 51 feet. Because we go from directly behind the truck all the way to behind.
Okay.
Because we just need as much feet that will take up on the boat, just so we have a rough estimate before
Okay.
we load the boat of what we'll have. So I went ahead and put that in there. You can stop in there. You have to board down there anyways for security check-in. So you can stop in there, make sure you got that refund. Otherwise, we'll drive your vehicle on and off for you. So just leave your keys in the vehicle, just your driver's side window down, doors unlocked.
Okay.
I'll have you park behind that other Airstream here. So I'll just have you do this.
So I gotta do a U-turn.
Yep.
Okay.
Just no alcohol or coolers, food are allowed on board, but pretty much anything else is okay.
Okay.
You don't have access to your vehicle, so just grab what you need before boarding.
Got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
So go ahead, make that U-turn. Do you have any other questions at all? Okay.
I'm just thrilled I'm getting
Looks
money
like a nice day.
I'm thrilled I'm getting money back.
Thanks for being honest.
Thanks.
Of course.
To Lake Michigan, wherever I go, I will return again to mine. Oh, the blessed Midwest, the blessed Midwest. Held by the forest where I go for rest, and washed by the waters of Lake Michigan. Wherever I go, I will return again to mine. Oh, the blessed Midwest, the blessed Midwest.
It?
How many square foot is that? Probably like about 200 square feet. Yeah. Well, but that's, you're giving the counters where the counters are.
All right, Okay.
So I didn't get your names.
Oh, yeah. It's Greg and Mary Jane Hay.
Greg and Mary.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Hey, it's an amazing job that going on
Your
there.
name is? Jim. Jim.
I'm glad he put it.
James.
Yes.
James and Michelle, have a great sailing.
Thank you very much.
Let's follow the coast as far as it goes, or until we disappear. That gives me an idea. Let's get lost together. Let's go chase that postcard. Wish you were here, weather. Let's get lost together. 'Cause if we don't, I know that I won't even last another year. The wind at your shoulders, suffocating in our ears. There's a whole wide world about to unfurl, not so far from here. So let's get lost together. Let's go chase that postcard. Wish you were here, weather. Let's get lost together. 'Cause if we don't, I know that I won't even last another year. Let's go disappear far away from here.
I'm Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle.
Shelby, nice to meet you. We'd love to hear about the Badger.
Yes, so the SS Badger is a National Historic Landmark. She is the last and largest coal-fired passenger steamship in operation in the United States. She went through a major refurbishing in 1992, where now was more on the passenger. We created lots of cargo as well. So we are actually a designated continuation of U.S. Highway 10 and a part of Marine Highway projects. We create lots of different cargoes, including semis, motor coaches, cars, vehicles of all kinds, campers, RVs,
And Airstream.
and Airstreams even. We pretty much, if you go down the road, we can carry it.
Yeah.
Some of our notable loads have included the Budweiser plant sales, circuses, wind turbines, the LL Bean bootmobile.
Wind turbines, like the great big.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And a lot of them are built in Wisconsin.
Okay.
It's kind of neat that we get to carry them, but we've had the tower sections, the plates. We often get generators.
Wow.
So it is just a very vital part of the maritime service, and we get to kind of keep the supply chain in demand, and we get to take navigable loads off of the roadway to kind of, kind of that carbon footprint of keeping things going.
Right.
So we can carry up to 600 passengers across
Oh, wow.
and then we can also carry about 160 to 180 cars, depending on the road.
Okay.
It's pretty cool to see everything carrying.
Have you ever had a lot of campers like come together?
Actually, yes, in this post-pandemic world, there's a lot more campers. We think that's partially when COVID, people wanted to get out and venture around and be safe in their own surroundings.
Yeah.
So it's very fun to see the variety of campers and see where people are coming and going. So it's always cool to see Airstreams, and it's nice to see we're out more today.
Yeah. Thank you.
So when you sail on the Badger, it's 4 hours across the lake. And a lot of people are quick to say, oh my gosh, what am I going to do for 4 hours? And the same people get off the ship and say 4 hours is not enough. And so you basically have a free reign of the ship in a way in all passenger areas. And so you walk around, hang out, take in the views of Lake Michigan. You can play bingo, you can get some food, you can get drinks, all that. But one kind of fun fact is that if you do 6 laps around the top of the ship here is a mile. So if you need to get your steps in and take in some fresh air, this is the perfect spot to do it.
That's great. It's a lot like riding on a train.
Yeah.
You have a place you can sit, a place you can eat, but you can get up and move around.
Exactly. And Even though she is a pretty authentic antique ship in a lot of ways, we were built for the railroad, and so there's a lot of thought and design that kind of mimic the railroad. So it's a perfect analogy.
Got the feeling in your bones, make you feel right at home. Honey, does it well, keep me dancing till I'm dead. 'Cause I could run a mile like this, head over heels, feels like this. The sun has got me on my track, I ain't never looking back.
The ship is very authentic to 1953, but there have been updates along the way. But when you look at the thread, you can still see the rail ties from our railroad being able to lay in the ship. Kind of squeeze homage that, but in our refurbishing, we've kind of leveled everything. That's where we're able to carry all the cars and be carried today. This is how everything gets on and off the ship via the aft end here as well.
Yeah, so when we get to Wisconsin, it'll turn around and back in.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's a very unique docking process that the Badger does. And when you look at modern ships, one of the number one things is that ships have what's called a bow thruster, which basically are propellers on each side of the ship to help it move side to side. And so the Badger being built in 1953, she was the largest car ferry, the most high tech at that time, but this is before the bow thruster. And so we have the best crew imaginable, and they're very skilled and very good at what they do. And a lot of what we have to do, we have to factor in weather. And so it's something that we're always constantly watching. So depending on how you look at it, we're either working with or against the wind as part of our docking process. And they will actually turn the boat around, we'll drop an anchor to help pivot host times, and they will back it into the slope.
Wow.
So it's a very awesome process.
Well, we could tell too as we were watching them back everything up, our camper, including, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
it's not their first rodeo.
No, and that's one of the really unique things is that every day it's a different puzzle of just different loads, different cargo. I give our crew so much credit, and they make it look easy. Just when you think they can't get anything more on the ship, they'll fit a semi, and I'm not kidding. They have a load plan, and they'll see, like, okay, we have X amount of trailers, X amount of campers, and they'll know where we can park them. And so that's one of the reasons that we do highly suggest, especially in late July, of booking ahead so we have space. Just that's the thing, we don't want to tell people, oh, sorry, we can't have you, because we have a lot of fun and we want to make sure that everyone has a good time.
Right.
And so they all say, okay, this camper will fit here, this vehicle will fit there. So we're talking about the docking process. And so I was talking about how they turn the boat around and then we'll back into it.
Right.
So when they do that, we use the aft-end pilot house here. In our aft-end pilot house here, there are Chad birds, the Chadler telegraph system, and the captain uses that to call down to the engine room. There's a set for this forward pilot house and the aft. So the unique thing about the Badger and steam technology that is propelling us in the water is that the captain does not have direct control over the engines. So we have about a 20-man engine crew that's down there. They work in different shifts. And so they are manually adjusting the engines.
Wow.
We have, so it's a very awesome process. We have our boilers, we have the engines, we have, the water tenders, the oilers that are making sure everything is running how it's supposed to. And then when it's time to come into port, the captain will enter or use the Chadburn telegraph system to actually tell them down in the engine room, like, speed up, slow down.
Wow.
So it's a very unique, very cool process.
It's off limits to people because it's a very important part of making the boat go.
Yes, so the captain is very skilled and knows what he's doing, but we'll let him down and go doing the same thing. Back in the 1930s, Ludington was the largest car ferry port in the world. And so we were home to 9 different car ferries that sailed in and out of the harbor. And Ludington was founded as a lumbering town, which brought the railroad and which then brought the club series. The Spartan, her sister ship, and the Badger, they were built to be more of a passenger-oriented experience, if you will. So at that time, they were realizing that more and more people wanted to travel by the car ferry. So they were built bigger, built, for extra cargo holds and things like that, so they could take their vehicles with as well. So before the Badger, there was the Spartan, and then there was the City of Midland. So there's a lot of different ways that we celebrate their heritage on board as well. So in our sitting rooms here, we have the original couches from the City of Midland. And so they're very comfortable, a great place to relax.
Yeah. So the Spartan is docked with, we saw it coming in with the Badger.
Yeah.
What is that being used for now?
So she has not sailed since 1979.
Okay.
Even if she hasn't sailed, she serves a very important purpose of supplying parts to the Badger.
Oh.
So it's because of the Spartan is why we still have the Badger today. When they decided to build the Spartan, it was written in the contract they could build another ship, but it had to be identically built. So a lot of times they're touted as the CNO $5 million twins because they were twins. But I like to joke to say, well, that they're fraternal twins now because in 1964, the Badger was laterally cut and 18 inches were added to make her taller and to accommodate for taller rail cars. And so car ferry business started drying up by like the 70s.
Okay.
And so they originally were going to do that with the City of Midland and the Spartan as well. But it just didn't happen just with over time. They started retiring the different ships. And so it's because those 18 inches is a big reason as to why we still have the Badger today. So where are we now? So we are in the main lounge of the Badger, and this is where Badger Bingo happens, and this is where a lot of people love to hang out. So there's a lot of sitting area in here, a lot of place for people to kind of lounge. You'll see people reading the paper, playing with our activity books, or most likely playing bingo. We have our courtside bar right off to the side here, where you can get a variety of drinks, including our famous Badger Blue from Lovington Bay Brewing. We also have the Badger Galley here, where you can purchase snacks and different food items. So great place to hang out, great place to kind of just relax, reconnect, and have some fun.
G47. G47. What do you do when you are surrounded by lions, tigers, and cheetahs? Get off the carousel. Oh, 71. We got a bingo. Bring it on up. Don't clear your cards in. We're going to check it. She looks honest. Go, 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 Johnny, go. Go, Johnny, be good.
Here are the staterooms, which are a really neat feature. When the boat was originally built, I talked a little bit about how the passenger industry of sailing was becoming more popular. And one of the best amenities at that time for the passengers were to rent a stateroom. They're kind of like a little dorm room, if you will, having 2 beds, a toilet, a sink, a chair. So the staterooms are very authentic to 1953. They've had some modern updates along the way, but here in the hallway is a really great place to view that the boat is 70 years old, but she does get a lot of TLC, and so we were happy this year to have some new interior painting, some new flooring, to just kind of freshen things up. So
that's great. Very bright.
Yes,
yeah.
Bright and fun.
Yeah.
So we're in the Badger gift shop, which is the best gift shop on the Great Lakes. We can find all of your apparel, books, coffee mugs, any souvenirs, even things about Michigan and Wisconsin. So lots of fun and unique items to find going around your sale.
It's like a lot of fun stuff.
Yes.
Cozy and candles.
I do a lot of my Christmas shopping in here.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. We added our tabletop Pac-Man games just last year, and it's been really fun.
It's Mary Jane and Greg. We miss them up there.
They're the other Airstream.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sailing with us. So the Badger being built in 1953 was obviously before the Americans with Disabilities Act was created. On our portside hallway here, we have actually widened doors where we could to make it easier for wheelchairs to get in and out of. We offer chairlift assistance so that passengers can get on the main dock here where most of the activities happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something we're aware of and something that we try to always keep an eye on. What's new and what technology can provide us while keeping in mind that we are an authentic 1953 steamship.
Travel far, now retreat. I've longed for this place for so long. Now I lay me down and be long. And I breathe in the air fresh from the blessed Midwest. I am held by the forest where I go for rest, and washed by the waters of Lake Michigan. And wherever I go, I will return again to my home, the blessed Midwest.
What do you think of Highway 10 so far in Wisconsin?
Wow. A washboard experience. Some of it wasn't. We've never felt road like that.
No. They said they were going to be replacing the highway in a couple of days. The road's going to be closed, and just the harmonics between the ups and downs in the road on the highway and the distance and tires lengths got really interesting. So my guts are all shook up.
Yeah, my brains are too. I can't wait to see what the inside of the camper looks like.
Yeah, we'll have to see what.
Hopefully nothing popped open. It's all part of the experience.
The blessed Midwest, the blessed Midwest.
Continuing our tour of the blessed Midwest, after steaming across Lake Michigan on the SS Badger Ferry, we arrived in Wisconsin. After a brief overnight at the Woods Edge Campground in Tomah, Wisconsin, we continued west towards our ultimate destination of South Dakota to change our legal address from Michigan to South Dakota.
They never go back the way that they started.
Our next stop is Laverne, Minnesota, to stay at our first ever Harvest Hosts Take 16 Brewery.
I am worn, I am weary. Travel far, now retreating.
Our first Harvest Host experience at Take 16 Brewery in Laverne, Minnesota was the perfect introduction for us to this program.
Now I lay me down and be long.
In our travels, Michelle and I are always open to unique places to stay and unique experiences while we travel. That's why we've truly come to love and appreciate Harvest Hosts.
Lake Michigan, and wherever I go, I will return again to my home, the blessed Midwest. I am torn, I am bleeding. Seen many souls, many holy. Remember their faces home.
Airstreamer of Brew.
Till we meet again, and I breathe in the air fresh from the blessed Midwest.
Take 16 Brewery, nestled in the heart of Laverne, became our home for the night. One of the things we truly appreciate about Harvest Hosts is the diversity of experiences it offers. Whether you're a beer enthusiast, a wine lover, or simply curious about the agricultural world, Harvest Hosts has something for everyone. I put a link to Harvest Hosts in the description below, and by using our link, you can save 15% off your first year membership to Harvest Hosts.
Michelle and I really love unique experiences and unique places to stay while we're towing the Airstream. That's why we've really come to love Harvest Host and everything it offers. As guests of Harvest Host, it's essential that we understand our role as supporters. While staying at a host location, remember to pay back the hospitality extended to us by making a purchase at that Harvest Host location. By doing so, we contribute to the sustainability of the program and ensure that Harvest Host will be around for future campers. Our first Harvest Host experience at Take 16 Brewery in Laverne, Minnesota was the perfect introduction for us to this program. We had ample and easy parking for a pickup truck and our Airstream travel trailer in a safe and convenient neighborhood. The site was paved and level, which meant we didn't even have to disconnect from our truck. And being right in town, we could walk to all the amenities we wanted to see. After a quiet and restful night's sleep here at our Harvest Host, Take 16 Brewing in Laverne, Minnesota, we're ready to hit the road and head towards South Dakota to experience more of this blessed Midwest.
And I breathe in the air fresh from the blessed Midwest. I'm held by the forest where I go for rest, and washed by the waters of Lake Michigan. Wherever I go, I will return again to my home, the blessed Midwest, the blessed Midwest.
The only way I got a bicycle.
You can't use this because you'll end up 13 years old again.
Yeah. I saw that movie.
Oh, son of a.
What is it?
That's our ticket.
Who could be calling?
Oh my God.
Oh, it's Jim. Hello, Jim. There's been a problem.
Continuing our journey across the blessed Midwest, we left Laverne, Minnesota, and headed towards Rapid City, South Dakota, and our ultimate destination of Custer State Park. But before arriving at Custer State Park, we needed a quick stop for lunch and an unexpected find.
Wall Drug seems like the place everyone goes when they visit South Dakota, but we've chosen instead to go to
Al's Oasis.
Al's Oasis is a great stop about halfway between Sioux Falls and Rapid City. They are known for delicious pies, and their meals are excellent too. A mix of different shops are attached to the restaurant, and even a grocery store.
I like it like that with the strap in your face. That looks really sharp on you.
You like that?
Yeah. You should find a mirror.
Well, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Not bad.
Oh.
What are you finding?
Caramel.
The only way I got a bicycle. Oh my gosh, for you.
With my new hat in hand, or on head, we continued westward to Rapid City, South Dakota, and Custer State Park.
After saying we weren't going to go to Wall Drugs,
Here we are.
here we are. We ended up here anyway.
So with you, wearing sweatpants and drinking red wine. Kick watch TV, eat Chinese.
We figured out that we needed bath towels. We needed new bath towels.
These people need towels. Are you headed back to camping?
Like a big bath towel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Let's go this way.
The ones we packed were
It's
mildew.
all in the timing. I tell you, just follow him. Thank you. Perfect.
Oh, just breathe. Got only me, just you and me. So just breathe.
So we got some, and they had a choice of one, which was
A wolf and its cub.
wolf and its
her
cubs.
cub. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, it'll work.
All righty, kids.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Steven, have a look at that.
So, but you can't use this because you'll end up 13 years old again.
Yeah. I saw that movie.
So onward, it's still a gorgeous day, and we're on to Custer State Park.
Oh, just breathe. Got all we need, just you and me. So just breathe. Keep it simple, keep it sweet. Like a whistle down the street. This is good. This is right.
The next day, we journeyed from Custer State Park to Mount Rushmore. There are tunnels that reveal magnificent views.
Before the sun appears, before the world has even
Lots of twists and turns, and bridges that you drive over
we don't need to hug.
and then under.
The road ahead is clear. Let's follow.
There was a great number of cyclists on the route as well.
Goes, or until we disappear. That gives me an idea. Let's get lost together. Let's go chase that postcard. Wish you were here.
The GoPro camera needed a battery change, so we pulled off onto the shoulder of the road and opened the windows for fresh air.
I know that I won't even last another year.
Oh, son of a bitch.
What is it?
That's our ticket.
Dodging cars and motorcycles, I was able to recover our entrance pass from Custer State Park from the middle of the road. This seemed like a travesty when it happened, but it actually was a minor issue compared to the problems yet to come.
Let's go chase that postcard. Wish you were here with her. Let's get lost together. 'Cause if we don't, I know that I won't even last another year.
Area 5.
Let's go disappear.
Where are we?
We are at Mount Rushmore. Oh my.
Oh my. It is really something, and what a beautiful day today is.
If you have not been here, you need to come see this. It's well worth it.
I sit on the 2 chairs.
Yay!
Today's the day that we go to the DMV to get our residency changed to South Dakota so we can be residents. America's Mailbox is helping us with our mail delivery service. A little bit more about them here.
We're here at America's Mailbox in Box Elder, South Dakota. And this is the place that Michelle and I have chosen for our mail delivery service for our life on the road. In doing research between all the major companies and the 3 main states people chose, South Dakota was the best fit for us, and America's Mailbox had far and away the best service possible for our domicile needs.
America's Mailbox is located on the east side of Rapid City in Box Elder, South Dakota. They are a mail forwarding service and more. America's Mailbox will provide you with a personal mailbox to hold your mail and forward it to you anywhere you may be. But they do much more than that. The friendly staff at America's Mailbox can help you change your domicile from your current state to South Dakota. America's Mailbox also offers mail scanning services and more. Check out their website for more information or give them a call. I'll have links in the description below this video.
And now that you know a little bit about them, let's get going to the DMV so we can get our residency changed. Are you ready to go, Jim?
Yeah, it's going to be great to get the residency changed to South Dakota from Michigan. And so have you grab the passports and we'll go.
Oh, well, do you know where the passports are? I didn't grab the passports.
What do you, when you say you didn't grab the passports, you mean you didn't like grab them out of here? They're in Michigan.
I don't think we have them.
We got to shut up the camera. We don't have our passports. We don't have any of the other paperwork with us to establish residency, so we can continue on to the trip and then fly back.
I don't know. That's going to be like really expensive, and then we have to figure out how to take more time off work, and we're here, like we're all the way here.
Yeah.
And I know that's like, it's going to change the rest of the trip.
The rest of the trip, and that's why I wanted us to be at Indian Lake State Park up in the UP for our 30th wedding anniversary because we honeymooned there.
I know.
Any other ideas?
Well, maybe we could call somebody, and
we could call Gary and Sue.
Yeah, maybe we could tell them right where it is, and they could go in and get it and maybe send it to us.
Right. All right. I'm going to call Gary right now.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, what a nice evening. Dinner was really good. Oh, so relaxing. Who could be calling?
Oh my God.
Oh, it's Jim. Hello, Jim. What's going on?
Hey, Gary. We've got a problem.
It's Jim. It's Jim and Michelle. There's a problem.
Are they okay? Did they break down?
We forgot the right paperwork to get our residency change from Michigan to South Dakota.
Oh my God. They forgot all their paperwork that they needed. They're in South Dakota.
Uh-oh.
If you could do us a favor and just go up into the apartment, and
of course.
I'll tell you exactly where all the paperwork is and where to ship it.
I'll go right now.
So Gary said he's going to send that to us, and hopefully it doesn't take too long for all of our documents to get from Michigan all the way to our personal mailbox at America's Mailbox in South Dakota.
The blessed Midwest. The blessed Midwest.
With our extended stay in South Dakota, Michelle and I have decided to take a trip up to the great city of Deadwood. What do you think so far?
It's really cool. There's brick streets and just a really fun vibe going on here. And we're going to be able to experience possibly a shootout.
We we hear there's going to be an altercation, something where maybe a bank robbery, some type of something where some gunslingers are going to be after each other. We don't know. But that's up the road this way just a little bit, and we'll be heading right up there. Nice legs.
You okay? You sounded a little hoarse.
Little horse. Ah. So that last little bit of video there was here shot by Deontay
Moody, yes sir.
Deontay Moody, and he is a cornerback.
Cornerback,
right? At Black Hills State. Black Hills State.
Yeah.
All right. Look for him out there on the field.
Number 2.
So we're here at the stage, and we hear there's going to be a gunfight right here behind us because we had talkings with a local sheriff. And great guy. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Where's home for you?
Home has been Michigan, but soon to be South Dakota.
Really?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah. So you're down here now. Are you in the process of moving
Yes.
in? Oh, excellent. So when you were up in Michigan, were you where's your Trolls?
Trolls.
Trolls. I was too. I actually lived in Michigan.
Oh yeah? Excellent.
So
and so they even let people from Michigan become the sheriff.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I didn't tell them I was from Michigan. But,
I imagine that helps.
So have you been here? Obviously, you've been here before if you're moving down here.
This is our first trip to South Dakota, and we just got here. We're going to be nomads, so we're going to be living in a travel trailer. We're establishing South Dakota as our domicile.
We made fast friends with Les, and when he discovered that we had done some historic reenactment, he wanted to introduce us to the executive director of Deadwood Alive.
I love talking to people about history, and like I say, you obviously like it too.
Yeah.
And if you guys, a year from now or something like that, are interested in doing something like that, we would love to have become some new friends of mine. All right. So it was
Jim
and
Michelle.
Now,
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Tell him what you have done. The baseball.
I did for 10 years. I started known as Vintage Baseball Club, but it was playing baseball for the rules, with all the rules, customs, costuming, everything from the 1860s.
Now raise your right hands, or whichever hand works for you. And repeat after me, nice and loud. I state your name. Promise to obey the laws of Deadwood Gulch. And to help track down that low no good. Dirty dog. Snake in the grass. Oh, weasel. That guy. Who never, ever does the dishes for his mama. So we promise, get your hands up, to do the dishes for our mamas. Boy, it got really quiet there. And to help keep Marshall Khan away from any more ice cream. All right, we are brothers and sisters of the law. Let's give them a nice big round of applause, folks. Now, there is only one gunshot in this particular shootout. And the shootouts we do later today have lots of gunshots in them. And the reason for that is that they are all true stories. We research our stories very thoroughly. In fact, right up behind the Franklin Hotel here is the local Deadwood Public Library. They carry the Black Hills Pioneer newspaper going all the way back to 1876. And as hard as it's going to be to believe that this is a true story, it is a true story. And this is how it happened.
The Deadwood!
The Deadwood. Oh, that is awful, guys. Why do we do that? Oh, listen, yeah, we do.
All right, nobody move, nobody get hurt! That goes to you too, Law Dog. What are you doing? Hey, you! Wipe that stupid grin off your stupid face! Hey! What are you gonna do, Law Dog?
Oh my gosh! I can't believe they shot David in the forehead!
You take care of Lud. I'm gonna take this scumbag to jail.
Boy, that was a close one. I could have been a goner.
David, you got a bullet hole right there in the middle of your forehead!
What?
Well, folks, the strange gets only stranger. Not only did David Luck walk out of Al Chapman's saloon that night, but he continued to walk the streets of Deadwood for 67 days.
We'll get back to you, taking cold down everything. What do you mean you're out? Did I get you? I don't think so. How about now?
Blessed Midwest, the blessed Midwest.
Hey, we're finally here at the DMV.
To get our South Dakota driver's licenses.
Yay, finally, we made it.
It's been a long journey. It's a rainy day in our extended stay here at Custer State Park in South Dakota, and I'm cooking breakfast, and I'm trying for the first time the method of doing bacon in a pot with a little bit of water in there, and we'll see what happens. Supposedly, we're gonna get very little spatter and a much tenderer bacon out of this. To learn more why we have an extended stay here at Custer State Park in South Dakota, check this video right here. So this is bacon in the pot. What's the verdict?
It's really delicious.
It's really good. Is it too crispy? Did I get it a little too crispy this time, or is it good?
So I like crispy.
You got crispy bacon? Good stuff.
After our breakfast, we decided to drive the scenic roads of Custer State Park. The scenery here is stunning, and the park is full of wildlife. We heard the bison were out on the wilderness trail. As the skies turned sunny, we found some prairie dogs and the bison. After seeing prairie dogs, bison, deer, and more, we returned to our new campsite secured for us by our campground hosts, Tom and Teresa. They were amazing and worked some campground magic to find us a site for our 4 extra days in Custer State Park while we awaited the shipment of our passports. So, hey, how close is our paperwork now?
Well, let me check. Let me check. I'm tracking a package coming our way. See, when we left Michigan, we forgot our passports, the paperwork needed to change our domicile from South Dakota to Michigan. So we're waiting for them to be delivered here to our personal mailbox in South Dakota. When we left Michigan, we each thought the other had packed our passports.
Are you ready to go, Jim?
Yeah, it's going to be great to get the residency changed to South Dakota from Michigan. And so have you grabbed the passports and we'll go.
Do you know where the passports are? I didn't grab the passports.
They're in Michigan.
You know, maybe we could call somebody and
We could call Gary and Sue.
yeah, maybe we could tell them right where it is and they could go in and get it and maybe send it to us.
Right. All right. I'm going to call Gary right now.
Okay.
All right.
Hello, Jim.
Hey, Gary. We've got a problem.
They forgot all their paperwork that they needed. They're in South Dakota.
If you could do us a favor and just go up into the apartment and I'll
Of
tell
course.
you exactly where all the paperwork is and where to ship it.
I'll go right now.
We had our friends ship us our passports, birth certificates, social security cards, and our marriage license. I'm pretty sure that we only need the passports, but sometimes it's good to have a belt and suspenders. The post office app says it'll be here on Saturday. By the time America's Mailbox processes everything, we'll be able to pick them up Tuesday, right when we leave Custer State Park. But of course, that means we don't get to spend our anniversary at Indian Lake State Park in Michigan. So what do you say we go up to the Alpine Inn in Custer and have a special dinner there?
That sounds great.
All right.
Our anniversary dinner at the Alpine was spectacular. They even put a sparkler in our dessert. The next morning, we packed up and headed to America's Mailbox and retrieved our package. Then we were off to the South Dakota DMV to change our domicile and get our South Dakota driver's licenses. Hey, we're finally here at the DMV.
To get our South Dakota driver's licenses.
Yay, finally we made it.
It's been a long journey.
And we did it.
We did a thing. We are South Dakota residents now.
After a long and very difficult road to get here, we made it.
Chasing love can drive you mad and make you feel real good, make you feel so sad. Oh, 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 chasing love. Oh, 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 chasing love.
After an amazing sampling of wines at the Burr Oak Winery,
If you have, put in the comments below maybe one of your favorite places you've attended. Blah, attended.
Attended.
No,
Stayed.
stayed.
If you've been watching our Blessed Midwest tour, you learned that we had to extend our stay at Custer State Park because we forgot our passports so we could change our domicile from Michigan to South Dakota. But one thing that helped us amazingly on the return trip was our membership to Harvest Host.
Harvest Host is a network that connects RV owners with a variety of unique places to stay. There's wineries, farms, museums, and you just go onto the app, whether you use your phone or a computer, and you can search where you're going to be, where you're looking, and find available locations. You can put a filter on it also if there's specific things you're looking for.
Right, because some people like to stay at farms because they have children with them and they can have a farm experience, maybe go feed some alpacas or something. Or some people like us prefer to stay at wineries or breweries because we like to sample some of the local wines from the area. And in fact, on this trip, which helped us out, we stayed at a great winery in New Lisbon, Wisconsin.
Burr Oak Winery. The property was spacious for parking and had a lovely area to sit and enjoy the wines. He allowed us to do samples of the wine that he makes and had a store that we could shop. He also sat with us and the other couple that was staying there the same night. So it's also about community. Gives you an opportunity to meet local people as you're traveling and find out about the area and meet other people.
And to stay at a Harvest Host location, the cost is free. It's totally free with your Harvest Host membership. Now, they do ask that you support the place that you're going to. If you're going to a farm, often they have fresh farm goods you can purchase, be it cheese or milk or whatever it might be, even some handmade crafts. And of course, a winery, you'd have the opportunity to purchase a bottle or two of wine, or like Michelle said, in this place, he had a nice gift shop to shop around as well. Now, the Harvest Host membership is pretty reasonable. How much is it, Michelle?
$99.
$99 a year. For a year, and that gives you unlimited access to any of the Harvest Host locations. But we've got a link in the description below, and if you go to that, you can save 15% off your first year membership.
I would like to say that having a Harvest Host membership is like having a passport to unique experiences that you otherwise maybe would not know about.
Yeah, I know it's really worked out well for us. We've learned after our Blessed Midwest trip to leave gaps in our travel plans so that we have a 1 or 2 gap between different campgrounds that we booked stays at, just so we can have extended travel times or something is bound to go wrong, because we live in an imperfect world and sometimes things just don't go quite as you plan. So it's really worked out well for us. And as we're driving along, Michelle will simply pull out her phone, pull up the app on the phone, and be able to book us a place to stay the same night, often the same night we're traveling, sometimes the next night.
Have you ever stayed at a Harvest Host? If you have, put in the comments below one of your favorite places you've stayed.
And through the Harvest Host membership, you can also add on the Boondockers Welcome membership. Now, Boondockers Welcome is a little different. Usually that's somebody's home, and they offer a place that they may have beside their house or garage where you can park, again, overnight. Some people have electricity set up, a 30 or even a 50 amp, because they're RVers themselves. Some people let you use water, and other people may even have a sewer hookup for you.
In most of those places, if you are going to have some kind of a hookup, they do have a minimal charge, but it's very minimal.
So all in all, Michelle, what have you thought about our Harvest Host membership we've had so far?
I feel it's a really great membership to have. It's well worth the money. Even if you aren't a full-time RV person, I think you can use it to experience things that you wouldn't normally know about, and can be educational experiences.
Yeah, and I agree. It's been something that's really worked out well for us. We try to keep our travel days pretty short, about 3 hours or less. We don't like to travel. So if we're going to a campground, like we have some future things coming up this fall and winter where we're going to be going, and it's a 5 or 6 hour drive, we'll leave a day in between and we'll pick a Harvest Host in between so we can stop, spend the night, and awake the next morning and usually drive right off fully refreshed. And usually we don't even have to unhook. So the next day to travel, we can leave pretty early in the morning and get ourselves going into our next campsite where we're going to stay.
Harvest Host creates connections that go beyond just a place to park for the night. It's really a community of adventures, and that's one of the things we really love about it is the community that it provides.
After an amazing stay at Burr Oak Winery, a great sampling of wines, and a nice quiet place to park the RV and sleep for the night, after saying goodbye to our newfound friends, we headed on to Indian Lake State Park in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is a magical place for us, and you'll need to find out why.
The blessed Midwest. The blessed Midwest.
I'd like to call. I'd like to say that Harvest.
So you'd like to say it? You'd like to say it, then say it.
You said I get lots of shots. How many times did you say?
How many shots do you need to finish this?
Harvest Hoax.
Harvest Hoax.
How about you? Have you ever gone to a Harvest Host site? Ugh. Have you ever stayed at a Harvest Host? If you have, put in the comments below what.
And they also have Boondockers Welcome that you can stay. And not only is there Harvest Host, but there's a.
And that's one of the things we really love about it is the community that it provides.
After an amazing sampling of wines at the Burr Oak Winery, After an amazing sampling of wines at the Burr Oak Winery in New Lisbon, Wisconsin, we headed out, said goodbye to our new friends, and we headed on to Harvest Host stay in New Lisbon, Wisconsin, and headed east and then north into Michigan's Upper Peninsula to Manistee, Michigan, and Indian Lake State Park. Not only a beautiful campground and area, Indian Lake State Park has a very special place in our hearts. Why does Indian Lake State Park hold such a special place in our hearts? To answer that, we need to go back in time by 30 years. Michelle and I were married in June of 1993, and we spent part of our honeymoon camping at Indian Lake. Oh, did I mention that this trip would land us at Indian Lake on our 30th wedding anniversary? We even spent time at the amazing Kitch Itty Kippy, but more about that later. Years later, we returned to Indian Lake with our children, and it was just as special as we remembered. They were amazed by the crystal clear waters at Kitch Itty Kippy, or the Big Spring. We want to share that beauty with you, but first, it's time for a little L&L. That's laundry and lunch. Jack.
In downtown Manistee, we found a great new Indian restaurant, Taj.
How is it?
Oh my gosh, it's delicious. The flavors are really well blended and delicious. There's some kind of cheese, white cheese in it, melted. It's amazing.
There she goes.
Kitch Itty Kippy is on your right.
Kitch Itty Kippy, the name means Big Cold Spring in the Ojibwe language. It is located in Palms Brook State Park in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. It is a natural spring with crystal clear waters that remain a constant temperature of a chilly 45 degrees Fahrenheit.
Paraclete shows a pair of hearts to the sun applies. This is worth the fight. Angels sing.
Please do not drop any coins in there. My fish are not very bright, but they will eat them and it will make them sick and they will die. They cannot digest coins.
First packets blow. This is the music that made the whole world turn. The love that we all came from, it's which now turn.
Thank you. It's awesome still, isn't it?
Yeah, it's our 30th anniversary. We were here 30 years.
Oh, congratulations! Happy anniversary!
Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well.
Mackinac Bridge in 1/4 mile.
And I breathe in the air fresh from the blessed Midwest. I am held by the forest where I go for rest, and washed by the waters of Lake Michigan. And wherever I go, I will return again to my home.
Hello?
$8.
That's it?
Yep.
Cheap at twice the price.
The blessed Midwest. And I breathe in the air fresh from the blessed Midwest. I'm held by the forest where I go for rest, and washed by the waters of Lake Michigan. And wherever I go, I will return again to my home. The blessed Midwest. The blessed Midwest.
I promised Michelle that I'd make smash burgers tonight for dinner, but she had also had a request of onions and mushrooms on the Blackstone.
Okay.
Look fantastic. When do we eat?
Cooking smash burgers at Otsego Lake, Michigan, birthplace of the Manhattan Project and the development of the nuclear bomb. But how did we end up here at a campground that wasn't even on our itinerary?
I don't know where I've been. I don't know where I'm going.
In June 2023, we planned a trip from Michigan to South Dakota to change our domicile to South Dakota. We detailed this trip in our video series we call The Blessed Midwest. Leaving Port Huron, Michigan, we traveled across the state to Ludington to ride the SS Badger Ferry across Lake Michigan with our Airstream loaded onto this historic steamship.
Landing in Wisconsin, we towed Gemini to Laverne, Minnesota, and stayed at a great Harvest host, Take 16 Brewing.
From there, we made it to South Dakota and Custer State Park, only to realize we had forgotten our passports needed to establish domicile.
I don't know where I've been. I don't know where I'm going.
After an unscheduled extra 4-day stay at Custer, we began our trek back to Michigan only after getting our new South Dakota driver's licenses.
With that extra 4-day stay in South Dakota, we were forced to cancel all of our reservations for the return trip.
Don't forget me when I'm gone, 'cause right now I just got to be free.
We were fortunate enough to find a great Harvest Host winery in Wisconsin and then book one of our favorite campgrounds in Michigan's stunning Upper Peninsula, Indian Lake State Park.
I can turn back now and leave this all behind. I don't know if I'll ever get out alive.
We were able to celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary at Indian Lake, the same campground where we honeymooned in 30 years prior.
Hunting for a campground halfway between Indian Lake and Port Huron, we were able to secure a reservation at Otsego Lake State Park.
A place we had never visited. Luckily for us, before this trip, we had purchased a Michigan State Park Pass.
I don't know where I've been. I don't know where I'm going.
What we're going to do is we're going to install the 2023 Michigan State Park Pass. This is the non-resident permit that'll let us get into Michigan State Parks, and this becomes our day use fee. See, it's the recreation passport. You can see it right there. So we're going to stick this right in the window. They want it right on the passenger side. And there we are. There's our 2023 Michigan State Park Pass that gives us access, free access into the Michigan State Parks. Now, that's not free camping at all. That's just access, so that's your day use permit. Camping then runs between $30 to $40 a night for camping at the Michigan State Parks. Normally, the cost is about $5 to $11 a day to enter the Michigan State Parks, but for $39, you can obtain this state park pass that gives you access to Michigan State Parks. You no longer have to pay that daily permit to get into Michigan State Parks, which are, in my opinion, some of the most beautiful state parks in the entire United States.
I've been working like a dog.
Look at that. Airstreamer was here.
Finish up this job and do it right. There's only a few things that a man like me needs. And taste this whiskey and you're right next to me singing, hey, honey, I'm coming home. Don't know why I'm gone so long. Hey, honey, I'm coming home to you. Say, hey, honey, promise please that you're gonna be the light on for me. Hey, honey, I'm coming home soon. And know what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Look, fantastic. When do we eat?
A little bit. Put these off to the side. All right, if we turn the griddle up a little bit for your smash burgers. So we got to make sure we get the griddle good and hot. So I got to turn up full right now. On this side. Michelle made the 2-inch balls of burger right here, standard hamburger. Get the griddle hot. I was using butter to saute the onions and mushrooms, and that'll work really good for a base for the smash burgers too. So I've got my press, my cast iron press right here, and then the parchment rounds too that are going to be used for this. This is getting pretty good and hot right now, and so we have to make sure we're hot enough for those burgers for the Maillard reaction on this, because that's what makes them so yummy. Otherwise, if you smash burgers and you don't have the griddle hot enough, you just push all the grease out of them and all the moisture out, you just have dry, tough burgers. What we want is something really juicy and tasty. That's what we're after here. So we get this just about smoking hot. Drop, let's see if we're hot enough. Drop a couple of these on there. Listen to that.
And just so you know, there's 9.
9 what?
Balls.
9. All right, so this is good and hot, it's smoking away and everything. So we use our parchment paper. We're going to lay it on there right like this, and then we're going to push this down like that. Rotate it a little bit, just like that. Bring it flat. Let's do the next one. What you're after is a good flat, and then you want to end up so that these have some lacing, and you can see right in here how we got the little holes. Right in there, and that's where it's going to fry. That's where the magic's going to happen. I didn't push this one out here quite far enough. See,
You gotta make sure you get that up.
Add our cheese. American cheese does really good with that. I'm going to drop the lid down to kind of contain that heat and melt that cheese just a little bit more.
It's smelling really good. You need a plate to put them on?
I'm going to set them over here.
Okay.
Just keep using the same parchment paper. We don't have to change that out. That's hot.
Don't burn yourself.
All right, so some salt on these. Brown them. Look at that.
Nice. So now what is this that you're using to make these?
This is our Blackstone 17-inch griddle, and this is the one that I've converted to run off of the propane of the Airstream trailer so that I don't have to have little 1-pound bottles. Just works really, really well. Let's get these guys set aside. Have that lacing right there. That's what we're after.
It's amazing.
You know what we're gonna do.
You're all sunny in the face. There must be a sunset happening.
With the sun setting on our day, it is time to reflect on how Otsego Lake is the surprisingly significant location in the development of the nuclear bomb. It was 1942. World War II was raging in Europe and in the Pacific. Both the United States and Germany were in a race to develop a nuclear weapon. In July 1942, J. Robert Oppenheimer met with Dr. Arthur Compton right here at Otsego Lake State Park. Earlier that year, Compton had put Oppenheimer in charge of the development of an atomic weapon. That research would be called by the code name the Manhattan Project. Oppenheimer traveled by train to northern Michigan and was met by Dr. Compton. They then traveled north by auto to Otsego Lake State Park, where they could discuss the nuclear project in complete secrecy. A nuclear explosion was still only a theory, and the scientists debated the possibility that the nuclear chain reaction could not be contained and might ignite the atmosphere and destroy the entire Earth in one massive fiery inferno. 20 years prior, Dr. Compton had won the Nobel Prize for Physics by detailing what became known as the Compton effect. It was this earlier work that eventually convinced the majority of the Manhattan Project that a nuclear explosion would be contained and not ignite the entire atmosphere.